See. Okay. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Joy Shawn and
John Barklow, how are you?
hey, welcome to SOC Talks this week. I hope you're enjoying these and passing them on. We're kind of enjoying kind of chatting with you guys every week and just kind of giving our perspective on some of the different things that are happening, within our SOC world and also within the business world with relationship marketing. So, and then Shawn, let's see, what are we going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about kind of what we've learned, what lessons we've learned while, being involved in Send Out Cards, which it's 7 years, 8 years for you?
No, more like 12.
14 years for you, but you look so young. You look so young. And yeah, about the same for me. So kind of what we've learned along the way, and hopefully you'll get some use out of this. Hopefully some of you have realized some of these things that we have. So.
Yeah. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves in this profession of network marketing. And I know when I first jumped into it, it wasn't with Send Out Cards at first, but I in another direct sales company. It's like I had no concept of what this was all about. And I'll tell you what, you can. I think probably to start with one of my best lessons I can share anybody in this profession is find something you love. Don't try to do something because somebody tells you you're going to make more money here, or this is the best thing since sliced bread, or this is the best weight loss program ever, and that kind of thing. And you do it just because you look at it as a good opportunity. You got to love it. You've got to be the product of the product. You've got to be, you got to believe in it and be a part. I mean, you just can't do it just for those kind of reasons. It has to come from your heart first. It has to be something you really enjoy. So I know
there's no better than Send Out Cards.
Yeah, that's right. At
least for us.
I know. We make people feel good every day, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And I do think one of the, when I got on the business side of this business, one of the biggest things that I had to overcome was not compare myself to everybody else.
I still struggle with that a little bit. When you see people's posts and, welcome this person, I'm like, oh, come on. I think it more, I'm just like, okay, I got to get to work, but I still struggle with that a little bit.
Do you really? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess probably I do too, but then sometimes I just sit back, kind of smack myself. Come on,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No compare. Go. Move.
It's your race. It's your game. It's your journey. Not somebody else's. And even though, and Shawn, there's so many people that post stuff on Facebook, and your first thought process is, oh my gosh, they're doing so much better than I am. Well, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what their activity is. Right. It's like comparing us to Jordan. Right. But Jordan's out there living, breathing, and talking every day on a daily basis, 5 or 6, 7 times a day. I mean, am I doing that? No. So why should I compare?
Right. But he's where he's at.
Yeah.
We just use that as kind of motivation and say, okay, there's the benchmark. So let's work for that. So no, I get it. And I had a comment. God, I've lost it again. Jeez. All right, keep going.
Okay. Well, I know another one was, in learning to set goals. We talk about goals all the time. And, you have some people on one side of the fence that set these goals like, I'm going to be an eagle in 6 months. And then you have other people. It's like, well, I'm going to be a manager in 5 weeks. I mean, so they're like at the small goal and you got the big goal,
right.
Kind of thing. But there is a happy medium, and there needs to be a reality with it. I mean, you've got to keep yourself above it. Do one step further than what you think you can do. But dream a little bit bigger.
Right.
Kind of a thing. I know for myself and on several different occasions when it comes to, incentives are good. I'm telling you, I'm one that I use those as a kick in the butt to get going.
Because they hit them every time.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a real good, but one of the things that I do, it's like I don't look and And like a lot of times the companies will say, well, you just need to do this, kind of a thing. So you've got this big number in front of you. You got to break that down. You've got to
Yeah.
learn to break that down. Just like the VIP we talked about on the very first call. It wasn't like I got 25 97s, but I had so many 17s, so many 97s, so many 147s. And it made a reality. It was more of a reality for me to see it like that and then
Right.
plug people in as it happened, kind of a thing.
No, and along with the goals, I wrote down one. I am statements work, and we live our most dominant one.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I was introduced to that at the first Treat 'em Right seminar I went to about writing your I am statements down, and then sending yourself a card. And I was talking with somebody today I was meeting with and said, I look back at some of those cards and I have a lot of them, and you start looking at them like, well, I've done all that one. I need to make bigger, better ones. So
There you go.
it cracks me up when you have a conversation with people. Well, those don't work. And then you hear them say, well, I can't do that. Well, then you're living your most dominant one. And, I think, I don't know who else was on the I Am Blueprint today, but it is a work in progress. And it is something you have to really get your mindset right every day.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that I've learned along the way.
Yeah.
And I like that, there's really no bad days. Now, occasionally if there's a death or a very big tragedy, but most of us don't have really bad days. We have bad moments, but we let them turn into bad days and weeks, and months, and lifetimes. So.
Yeah. It's just your mindset, of what you want to do with it. But I know that, when you break the goals down, it just becomes more of a reality.
It's manageable.
It's manageable. And I know that one thing that drives me also is like the goal we have right now for the leadership thing. I mean, there's so many. Well, as I'm looking at my paper here, I could do it 3 times. I've got that goal set beyond that.
Sure.
I'm not looking at just the goal for the leadership retreat. I'm looking for a goal that's going to financially, make a difference, all the way around, kind of a thing. So I always shoot above and beyond,
That's why you make it.
Yeah, and in this company, we kind of like just have the one goal. But my prior company, they always had tiered. It's like one level you got this, but you had to pay for your airfare and the second person. The next level, your second person's paid for, but you still both pay for airfare. Then there's a third level, everything's paid. I mean,
yeah, well, makes sense.
So it was always, it didn't matter what the top one was. I figured what I needed to do from the top, and then you kind of fall. Yeah, it breaks down and goes into where you're at.
Yep.
So
I wrote, I've learned appreciation wins over self-promotion every time. And I remember hearing that at the very first convention I ever went to, where somebody was sharing a story that he had a business and he was all about, here's my map, here's my this, everything that went out to his clients or prospects was all about his business, and here's where you can find me, and here's what I can do, and here's blah, blah, blah. And he heard Cody say it at a Treat 'em Right, and he went back and said, we're going to change what we send out. And now we're just going to say thank you and appreciate people. And now we call it loving on people. And I tried to prove that wrong for my mortgage business. I mean, if I just stayed top of mind with my clients and didn't talk about the mortgage business, I got deals. If I tried to get business, I got crickets, nothing. So it really does, pay dividends to, again, appreciation wins over self-promotion every time.
Yeah, that's good. And I know one of the other things that I've kind of learned, I would say I learned it, it's just I've seen other people and I know I don't want to do this, kind of a thing, is that we're all in this together. We're all in this together, no matter whose team you're on, no matter what, there's, no matter, nobody has areas or any of that kind of thing in network marketing, but there's so many people that don't think that way, and so they have private meetings instead of opening up for everybody, or, or somebody's got an account with someone else. So, I'm not going to help them kind of thing, and we don't really see so much of that and send out cards because our culture's like a little different, but occasionally it creeps in,
Well, like we've talked, we have no affiliation with send out cards.
No.
Besides both being under probably Jordan.
Yeah.
But we're not on the same team. We don't cross, downlines or anything like that. and we both helped each other. So no, I agree. That's we probably have it, like you said. There's more of that here than not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There is. I like this networking thing I was at this morning, and there was a lady. She said, "I used to have send out cards, and I haven't touched it for a while." I said, "Well, need to, just get back into it." And I says, "Hey," I said, she said, "I don't even know who my sponsor is." I said, "Well, this is where you can look, but it doesn't matter. If you need my help, let me know. I'll be glad to sit down with you." I have had people in my career, tell me like, "Well, you can't do that all the time." Well, in my opinion, yeah, you can.
What's the Zig Ziglar? Help enough people get what they want, and you'll get what you want.
Exactly. So, and we want everybody using the system. We want everybody, bragging on what Send Out Cards does for them.
Absolutely.
And that person that's bragging, that's not part of your downline or whatever, whoever they're bragging to is that's another exposure for that person. And sooner or later, they're gonna. If they're a friend of yours too, or somebody you're staying in touch with, you could be the final exposure,
Absolutely. Gratitude is underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
And that's across, not just Send Out, but I mean, that's across the board, and it goes a long way. I've written down, people's actions, not what they say, show you who they really are. Mm-hmm. And that kind of goes into the some will, some won't, so what. Because somebody posted on our official page today, "Hey, how do you, I've got customers, and how do I get them back in to use and send out cards?" And I just put, like, make sure when you get them onboarded that you train them fully, mm-hmm. and, really focus on your energy going forward. You could spend you'd spin your wheels on how many ever customers you have and try to get them cards. That energy you could use moving forward and sign up 10 or 15 new customers that are going to use it. So,
Right.
And that's hard. I mean, that's hard because you want everybody to use it because how great it is if they use it, especially a business person.
Yeah.
Give it a try and use it, and I promise you'll get results. So, but just some won't. So we move on.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're utilizing your system as a business owner, as a Send Out Card business owner, then put them in a pipeline to where. Yep. You send them a card now and then that has nothing to do with Send Out Cards. It just
walking the walk.
How fun, just so that it can tell them, like, boy, that is a good idea.
I practice what I preach, I swear.
Yeah. Well, not so much of it. Gives them an idea. It's like all of a sudden you send them this like Groundhog Day card, in February, and it's like, wow, my customers really like that. That's a good idea.
The meeting I had with a financial planner today, I sent a card. It was a back to school card for his daughter. And that's on the front, and on the back, I just put first day of, I think it was her sophomore year or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he called and said, "I really need to use this more." And he said, "Today, look," he goes, I told my family about you and about Send Out Cards. And that's really cool. And he goes, then I pulled out the card. And they're like, "Oh my God, that's awesome. Why aren't you using that more?" So I'm like, got the family behind pushing him. So sometimes it is that card that comes unexpected that you're not anticipating. I didn't expect anything from that card when I sent it to him. I thought it was a cool picture and a great thing for him to keep around. So
exactly.
Which, that kind of leads me into cards, and acting on your promptings should not be taken lightly. Mm-hmm. If you're thinking of somebody, and it goes back to when Cody didn't act on a prompting. If you're thinking of somebody, there's a reason, and whether it's a card or a phone call or a text, reach out. Absolutely. I had somebody else. Yesterday, I was at a networking luncheon, and he said, "Hey, I sent this card to a mutual friend we know," and she called me yesterday or Monday afternoon and said, she had a couple she was just having a crappy day with some family, and it was not light stuff, it was heavy stuff. And she said, "When I got your card and I opened it at 5:00, it changed my day." And he didn't, he thought of her last week and sent it, and it hit at the right time. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So don't take those lightly. When you think of somebody, send that card. When you so.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I believe there's divine intervention in those cards. When that person comes to your mind, and because you don't have an idea when it's going to hit them, they're home, because you just don't. You can't predict when the mailman leaves a pack of mail, or something like that. But when they get it, it's they needed it that day. I hear it all the time. Yep. really one of my deciding points to become part of it as an affiliate was send out cards. It was just over the 40 days I did it, and the responses I was getting back was what fueled me to say, oh, this is cool. Yeah. There's something to this.
So it works. I have that written down. It works.
It works. It just does work, and not to be in business, just that it works to change people's days and lives.
Well, it's changed. It's made me better. I think I'm a better listener. For one reason, I'm listening for a card reason, but it really has made me a better listener. I go to, I think we've talked about this before, when you go to an event and they have the person that and they have their spouse and like, this is Shawn, who? The card guy. Oh my God. I mean, to me, that's cool. That's a legacy that if you're having that impact on people in your little world, and we all are, it's going to make the whole world a better place. So we've got some work to do.
Yeah, it was funny today, with our 30-second, it was kind of like, okay, tell everybody who you are and that type of thing, but answer this question. What do you define success? And it was like, okay, what's success? And then, of course, I have to be one of the first ones. I said, well, success to me is knowing that I made somebody happy, that I changed their day, that I did something for them. And it was funny because one of the girls sitting in there, she looked at me and she says, and I've gotten one of your cards, and I will tell you, they want a terrible day, kind of thing. It's just making their day, making a difference. I said, not like that, not like the beauty pageant person that says, what do you want? I want peace on earth.
Right.
I want happiness on the world. But
good luck.
Different.
We all impact our own little world, and it's going to have a bigger impact on it. Yeah. So I think it's a better world out there than what we constantly hear through the media and everything. So
there's a lot of good stuff that happens out there.
Absolutely. That doesn't sell.
Yeah, exactly. So.
The more consistent you are, the more chance you have to sign people up. And it cracks me up because I have somebody that's on my team, and he's like, when I show up more, I get more people to sign up. Really? Wow.
Imagine that.
That's a head scratcher. I can't figure that one out. But and you go back to Jordan. I think he is where he is because he's probably been the most consistent person in Send Out Cards history.
Yeah.
So, and whatever that is, that could be 1 a week, that could be 2 a week, that could be 2 a day, 3 a day, whatever you can commit to and be consistent on that day after day, week after week, it's going to add up, and you're going to be amazed at where you're at in a year.
Yeah. There's power. I've learned that there's power in visual. Not everybody's visual, but right above me here in my office, I've got this like big poster board with squares on it. Just everybody I do talk to, and whether they wind up with a customer, affiliate, or wherever they decide, but I've got the name up there in front of me. So
and I like the stuff behind too.
Yeah, and it's like really like fun to. It's like really fun to
have to buy a new poster board.
Pull it up, it's like, oh my gosh, I really was successful. I really did do some consistency work. I did really, talk with people. Plus, it's a great follow-up tool too. It's like, okay, there's no color by their name. What's the deal here?
Right. Talk to them in 3 weeks. Okay, time to follow up.
In 3 weeks, kind of thing. So I've kind of learned that visual is a good thing. Having something, and Shawn, you touched on a little bit. It's like, set your own goals. Just because somebody is doing 5 cards a day, if that doesn't work for you, make it 3, but make it 3 every day.
Sure. Yeah.
1 every day or 2, whatever, but make it yours. Don't try to set your goals by what somebody else does.
And I think, like when you talked about not comparing, and, we all want to be where Jordan is or the top people, but we have to do it our own way.
At our own pace.
Mine's going to be filled with humor, and some might offend some people, but it's who I am, and I'm not going to change that as I work my way up. Because you have to be your authentic self.
Right.
You can't try to be somebody you're not, and they present this way, so I'm going to present this way. So no, you have to have your own personality into it.
Yep.
Like it or not.
Yeah. Be you.
Yep.
Be you. Nobody can be you. Nobody.
Thank God. Nobody wants another one. No. So.
It's kind of like exercise in a gym. You look at somebody else and I want to be just like them. No, you don't.
Well, I want those abs, but no. crap, there's work to that. Darn it. And it is work. There's another one. This business is work. It's not a get rich quick scheme. You got to work at it. You have to be consistent, as we said. And you just can't sit on your couch and write your I am statements and go, okay, I'm ready.
I know. I forget who the author was. Somebody, a book that I was reading on the I am statements. It's not really the I am statements. It's the, oh my gosh, how was it? Oh, now see, I shouldn't have even brought it up because now I can't remember.
Great. It's my disease.
It took it
Alzheimer's.
It took it to another level, of not just I am going to do, that's just saying it. I'm going to find it now. Next week, guys.
Is it, so there has to, there's the book, The Secret, which most people know, and the Law of Attraction. And then there's that book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting.
Okay.
Have you read that?
No.
So that book really is, as I try to explain it, that's the manual to The Secret. Because The Secret is law of attraction, and you think you get what you think. But there's really, it doesn't seem there was a lot of action or talking about action or what to do. Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting is written by a woman who I don't think is alive anymore. But she talked about, a couple transitional moments in her life.
Okay.
Driving, and just a concept came into her head, and then how that she met somebody that was, and she thought, where'd that come from? I've never done that before. And a week later, she met somebody that did the same thing that she was thinking about, how they put, I think it was a production company together, and just how it all came together. But there was action. That book, there's more, you see the action. You have to put the work in,
right.
And as you hear, the universe likes to give to people that are working towards their goals and have goals and, are being positive. So,
the book, what it kind of made reference to is you have the I am statement, but take it one step further. Today I'm doing this and then finish the I am statement.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like it says, okay, you can sit here and say it all day long, but
right.
what am I doing to inspire others? Right. Today I'm, whatever, it was just different kind of.
Yeah. I'm attracting leaders in my send out cards business. And then if I sit in my house all day, there's no real action behind that. Cause I've never had anybody knock on my door and ask to see send out cards. Yeah. So I got to get out and about. So
yeah, for sure. So, okay. Well, hey, any final comments there, Shawn?
No, again, if you want us to discuss any topics, post them in the comments below when this gets posted. Also, just remember, I think we're in a great place with, having Greg in place and having Cody in place, and they've kind of gave us the roadmap, and it's our job to get out there and put the consistent work in and, make this thing happen. So.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Give us some comments. Give us some feedback. I mean, our plan with doing this every week is, we're going to get some guest speakers on here too. Some other people get different perspectives, because as you can see with Shawn and I, we kind of handle things differently. We agree on a lot of things, but at the same time, we do things a lot different. So, and I haven't got mad at Shawn yet, and I don't think he's got mad at
Jockey. Wow. She does that once that record button goes away. I can't believe you said that. No.
Yeah, we have this long discussion after.
Right. Here's what you're going to say next week, Shawn. Come on.
Hey, somebody was asking me the other day, when we do post these out there, and it's like, how can I share this beyond the group, like the private group, but they want to share it with one of their customers or something, if we're in a topic that's going to relate to the customer, just open it up and do a right click, the button will say copy URL. And you can kind of copy that and then paste it into, who you'd like to send it to.
Yeah, because I think, a lot of the things that we just talked about are probably applicable, except for, SOC is maybe better, applicable for other businesses. And that's what our kind of goal is too, is, not just talk about solely send out cards, but some of the things we've learned of what we do or how we do it. It'll work for any type of business.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of things I shared with you, that wasn't necessarily send out cards. It was my prior networking company that I went to, that I was in that kind of taught me some of these things along the way. So.
It's funny. I'll just share a quick story there. I was sitting at a Panera waiting for my person to show up, and there were two ladies talking to an older gentleman, and they were all older because they were talking about, Medicare, and this woman was just trying to get this guy to do something different. Well, you put $50, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like an ambush. And he would say something, and she's like, would you quit attacking me? I'm just trying to tell you. And I'm like, totally going, I'm like,
Uh,
we should videotape this and say, this is not what you should be doing.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just, wow, back, and that's a kind of another lesson. The more we talk at a presentation, the less we make. If we can ask questions and get our prospect talking, and, my favorite is, how do you think you'll use it? Send out cards, and they tell you, and then you could say, great, here's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of easy to do that. So.
And that so works, in my conversation with Lori a little bit earlier was just like that. I said, okay, you just saw what we had. I said, how are you thinking you want to use this? What is it that you want to do? And, we just kind of kept breaking down. I want to do it to my most recent clients and all. I said, what does that number look like? Kind of thing. So it was just like you were just ask them, wherever you want
They'll tell you.
Meet them where they're at. Don't try to get somewhere for you.
Right. Absolutely.
Even though you got a goal to have so many, forget your goal. Your goal is for you personally.
You don't want commission breath, as if we were told.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. But you got to find out what it is that they want. So, okay, well, hey, call question for everybody. What do you think? I think everybody just needs to sit back, smile a little bit, and just say, okay, what is it that I've learned, and what am I going to do different and better?
Yeah, perspective.
Yeah, put some real perspective on it. And for those of you that are listening that weren't on Cody's I Am workbook, that's going to be, a blueprint is really going to be a great opportunity. I don't know if you can sign up now and catch up or not, but I would be surprised.
They're going to be recorded.
Yeah, and they are recorded for those on there. And we were told today we actually got a separate Facebook group.
Right.
That we can get into, so to share different things. So, but anyways, well, thank you all very much for listening. And hey, when you get these recordings up, and we know when you listen to it, you're listening to the recording because we're not doing this live. The messages here right now, but give us some feedback. We'd love to hear it and some ideas for next week. Shawn and I get together Wednesday or Thursday, record this, and pop it out there on Thursday night. So okay, Shawn.
Perfect.
For your time, buddy. Have
a great weekend.
All right. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.